level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up, level up, level up. Go. Everything that means everything. Eyes connected to everything, and that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
And that's why. All right, my audience has been officially changed. I am pinning this, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. This is things that people don't want to talk about. Oh, we don't have anybody in the room yet. Should I just wait? Or should I just go? Doesn't matter.
We got Apple, we got iHeart.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, we do. Oh, ooh. Always. This is God Level coming to you live from things that people don't want to talk about. A little bit about me. My name is Renee. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a nurse. I'm an entrepreneur. I have this podcast. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a cousin. I'm a mother. I'm a Gigi. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here. Lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has 5 hip-hop albums streaming on all major streaming platforms now. Higher Dimensions, Law of Affirmations, Light Benders, Final Dimension. Look up John Skywalker on your music streaming platform device. Salute.
King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace. This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am. Let's get it.
AP, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. This is AP. I'm representing myself. I'm doing Sisters Empowerment House. I want everybody to join in on that. We're trying to get everything up and running. I do want everybody to like, share, subscribe. We're on iHeartRadio, YouTube, Apple Radio, even Facebook and TikTok. So like,
Spreaker
share, and subscribe on that. Spreaker, yes.
Yep.
So also, I want y'all to know that Dr. Cornell West and Dr. Melina Abdullah are running for president and vice president. Last day to register to vote is October 9th to be able to officially vote in this year's presidency. So just a little tidbit of information. And they're running independent, so look them up.
Okay. I don't know if a lot of people gonna participate this year. And we have Mike Lee. Mike Lee, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Absolutely. So first thing before I represent myself, I want to just properly represent my gratitude that I have for you guys. Okay. Consistency. That is one of the things that you don't see nowadays. We're in this microwave life where everything is instant gratification. We're in a scroll community, right? Everybody's just scrolling. But you guys have been consistent for so long now, and that consistency will pay off. Okay, the way things happen is everything happens gradually, and then all of a sudden, right? Gradually, and then all of a sudden, you eat, and then all of a sudden your belt loop changed. My belt loop just changed. I had to make some decisions, John. My belt loop just changed on me. All of a sudden, right? You're pregnant, and then all of a sudden you got a whole baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you put in consistent on the podcast, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what just happened? Yeah. No, it didn't just happen. It's because of your consistency. So first things first, I want to be very open about my gratitude for what you guys are doing. Second thing, yes, my name is Mike Lee. I live in the Washington, D.C. area. I consider this home. I've lived in other places across the country. I've lived on the West Coast. I've lived in the South. But DC is home for me. And I want to give a shout out to this area, because what we have is we have a thriving community of melanated people that are trying to get it together. We're all trying to get it together. We're leveraging each other's skill set. There's a nice community at the Gathering Spot. I don't know if you've heard it. If y'all got one down in Atlanta, Mr. Skywalker. It's called the Gathering Spot. But it is a community that you may want to be a part of. You guys can look it up. All right.
Okay.
Now I'm going to jump right in unless you guys are going to introduce me or got some questions for me.
No, we're piggybacking off of what we did last week. This is part 2 from last week. So I do want to attack the question that we posed on the podcast, why you will never have generational wealth. What are some things that we do that is going to prevent us from having that generational wealth?
So that's a great question, and I'm going to be answering that for the next 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit longer, depending on if you guys have more questions. But one of the other questions that we posed is, who taught you about money? Was it your parents? Or were you self-taught? Were you taught by someone in finance? Were you taught by Instagram? Were you taught by fill in the blank? We need to analyze where we've actually learned about money. One of the reasons why you will never establish generational wealth is because if your parents never established generational wealth and you're running the same play that your parents ran, then you're not going to establish generational wealth, okay? Now, with that being said, no shots to the parents, okay? All parents do the best job that they possibly can. We all do. We all want our kids to get money. We all want our kids to do better than we did. To the point, almost to our detriment. A lot of the times to our detriment. Because what you don't realize is the things that you grew up doing, those muscles that you built, when you tell your child, I want to make sure my kid ain't got to never worry about this, then guess what? They don't build those same muscles to get through those same types of problems. So each generation gets diluted slightly for some and drastically for others, based on what we're trying to fix for our family and not necessarily what we're trying to educate our family on. Does that make sense so far?
Right.
Okay. So I want you guys to understand the first reason why you will never establish generational wealth is because if your parents never established generational wealth and you're doing the exact same thing that they did, then you're not going to get any different results. The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay. So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to just briefly kind of pick up where I left off last week. I'm going to pop up my screen for you guys. I'm really excited. I love y'all ahead of time. Just want to let y'all know. I might get a little bit passionate today. We'll see. All right. So I'm going to skip through all of this stuff. And this is where we were. Okay. Sure, I'll give you guys this. There's really three types of life insurance. Okay?
Oh, hold on. Did you share your screen yet?
You can't see it yet?
No.
Okay, let me try again. Let me try that one more time.
Okay, I think we got some. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. So since we're on the subject of life insurance, okay, I want you guys to understand that there are three main types of life insurance. The two main types that people are aware of is term life insurance and coverage for life. Sometimes people call it whole life, universal life, but coverage that actually lasts for life. When we're helping people with these types of policies, they both are going to cover you if someone passes away, but they'll also give people access to up to 75% of their coverage amount if they develop a critical or terminal illness. So if somebody had one of our policies, a term policy or policy for life, and they had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, they would be able to access up to 75% of their coverage amount while they're still alive. The reason that's so important is because we all know people who have had heart attacks, strokes, and cancers and have lived, but those people probably didn't want to check into work on Monday. You know, they might want to take 6 months off. It's expensive to take 6 weeks off of work, let alone 6 months. So having that buffer is extremely important. Another reason why we need to have life insurance ASAP before we start having these medical things happen. All right. Now, when it comes to term insurance, what you're doing is you're getting a lot of coverage for the price. It's by far the most inexpensive type of coverage. All right. But the thing that people don't like about term insurance is you can outlive this coverage. So it's kind of like auto insurance. If I go 20 years and I never get into a car accident, they're going to say, great job being a good driver. But if you would have gotten into a car accident, we would have had your back, right? That's how term insurance works. But after that 20 years, the policy expires, okay? The second thing that people don't like about term insurance is it does not build cash value, which is like equity in your policy that is going to allow you to access money later. When it comes to coverage for life, whole life, you know, index universal life, the price doesn't increase. So you actually lock in a price based on your current age and health. The coverage amount doesn't decrease, and it does build cash value. Okay, so what the life insurance companies do is for every dollar that you put into the policy, they'll put 45 cents, 55 cents, 65 cents into like a bucket, right? Into like a savings to make sure you can access this money later. All right. Now, the thing that people don't love about the permanent policies is just that they're more expensive than the term. All right. So that's the baseline of how term insurance works, how traditional permanent insurance works, and then I'm going to be talking about IULs in a second. The reasons, just a recap still, the reasons why people get life insurance is not just death, and it's not just giving money to your kids. Those are the reasons that most people aren't familiar with. But there's actually 5 different reasons. Death and final expense means it costs $10,000 to $20,000 to die nowadays. Okay, and a lot of people don't want to leave their family stranded with that bad taste in their mouth, right? The I stands for income replacement, meaning if I pass away, if you pass away and you have people that's depending on your income, maybe you're in a 2-income household, you know, and one of those incomes disappear, that is going to be a drastic change for that family. So some people will get life insurance to make sure that if anything happens to them, their family can have income replacement or money that will make sure that they can live their normal lifestyle for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever they want. Mortgage protection. What that means is it's okay to rent, it's okay to own, but for those people that own their homes, okay, it doesn't matter if it's a $200,000 home, $300,000, $50,000, but for those people that own their homes, a lot of them want to protect that investment, okay? What do I mean by that? I mean, if you pass away, remember your income passes away. You can't just drop a $1,500 mortgage in somebody's lap and expect for them to just pick it up. You can't drop a $1,000 mortgage in somebody's lap and expect for them to just pick it up. That's not how that works. Okay, they got their own bills. If they could have an extra $1,000 set to the side every month, they would, right? So what a lot of people would do is they'll say, well, let me get mortgage protection. So if I pass away, the house is paid off for the family, or a large portion of the house, right? Or maybe I got 12 months of the mortgage taken care of. It's $1,000 mortgage. Let me get $12,000 worth of coverage. Let me get $25,000 worth of coverage so I can have a year or two of the mortgage payments taken care of so my family doesn't have to leave the funeral and start immediately making decisions, okay? This is something that's important for our older generation as they're starting to retire, as they start, passing away. We need to make sure that their house, right, their investment that they've been putting money into for the last 20, 30, 40 years, that they know that they can actually protect that, okay? Endowments, what that is that is money left behind for the children, for charities, for people that are looking to leave a legacy, right? We want to leave a legacy and not a liability. That's the goal. Leave a legacy and not a liability. So maybe you want to have a retirement, or maybe you want to have a scholarship program in your name. Like when I pass away, maybe I want $50,000 for a scholarship, whether it's for my kids or my grandkids. If my kids are already grown, then it's for my grandkids. You know, maybe I want to make sure that when I pass away, it's $200,000, $250,000 set to the side so they can buy a house or put a down payment on a house, or pay off the rest of their current home, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do for your children. For charities, it's the same thing. Maybe you're a part of a church. Maybe you're part of an organization that you're passionate about. Maybe they've been serving you for the last 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, and you want to leave a gift to them in your name. Okay, well, you can actually put $20,000, $50,000, whatever, towards that charity so that you can actually leave your legacy. Okay, maybe you're a part of a nonprofit organization, or you run a nonprofit organization, and you get a life insurance policy. You say, I want my nonprofit organization to be able to have an extra $100,000 when I pass away, and this is exactly what I want to do with it. You can do that. That's called an endowment. All right. And now we're all caught up. Today we're going to be talking about savings and retirement. Okay, some of the different things that we can actually do, some of the things that wealthy people have done and continue to do to make sure that their money is secure. All right, now there are tax-free retirement programs that wealthy people have been leveraging for over a century. We talked about some of these last week, so I'm going to continue. Last week, we talked about how cash value life insurance accumulates over time, and it gives people access to safe and secure money. This money is collected tax-free, giving people the ability to leverage Section 7702 of the IRS tax code. I'll explain that to you guys in a second. All right, now, some famous people that have used this exact same strategy that I'm going to be telling you about, this exact same strategy that I have my kids set up with, okay? I'm going to be explaining all types of different ways that you can do this, okay? But I want you to understand that this is something that wealthy people do. Walt Disney, y'all love Disney World. We love going to Disneyland, right? Well, Walt Disney used the cash value from his life insurance policy to fund the creation of Disneyland when he found it challenging to secure funding from banks. He used collateral. Ray Kroc did the same thing, but he used collateral, said, hey, listen, I'm going to give you guys $400,000, $500,000. You guys give me $500,000. If this doesn't work, we have more money, right? There's a death benefit that's associated with it. It's millions and millions of dollars. But this is the vision that we have. Walt Disney did that. J.C. Penney, aka James Cash Penney, during the Great Depression, Penny borrowed against his cash value of his life insurance policies to help meet the payroll of his struggling retail stores, effectively saving his company from bankruptcy. This had a significant impact on the survival and future success of J.C. Penney. I actually read the biography of J.C. Penney. It's a little small book, but J.C. Penney was a hustler. Y'all don't even know. J.C. Penney was selling farm animals that had disabilities. He was selling them half price. Usually they'll get rid of them. He's like, nah, y'all losing money. We gonna sell them for half price. Like, he was about his money. But he also understood how life insurance worked. Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, right? The mastermind behind the expansion of McDonald's, used the cash value of his life insurance policy as collateral for a loan. This loan helped him finance the growth of McDonald's into a fast food empire. So if he didn't know about life insurance, there would not be a McDonald's. Doris Christopher, the founder of Pamper Chef, a kitchen tool company later bought by Berkshire Hathaway, initially funded her startup by using loans against her life insurance policy. Senator John McCain, during the 2008 presidential campaign, McCain used his life insurance policy as collateral to secure a crucial loan to keep his campaign afloat during its early stages. Okay, everybody is leveraging, right? Leveraging these policies that they've had. I'm guaranteeing you that John McCain had a life insurance policy when he was a child, right? And his parents did that for him. So when I go through some of this information, maybe it's not for you, but maybe you got kids, maybe you got grandkids, maybe you have nieces and nephews that you feel like this concept might make sense for. President Abraham Lincoln, known to have purchased a life insurance policy before his second inauguration, Lincoln was one of the early American presidents to recognize the value of life insurance. Babe Ruth, famous baseball player. The legendary baseball player was known for his lavish lifestyle, but he was also savvy about his life insurance and financial planning, purchasing life insurance policies to ensure his family's financial security. Okay, Stanford University, the founders of Stanford University, Leland and James Stanford, used cash value of their life insurance policies to establish Stanford University, ensuring a lasting legacy and contribution to education. So think about that. Imagine if your parents had a life insurance policy for you when you was a child, right? What could you have leveraged? What could you have done in this day and age to leverage a business? Maybe you didn't want to start a university, but maybe you wanted to start a business that you were passionate about and you needed the funding for it. Okay. These are things that we can actually do for our kids. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he held a life insurance policy with a significant value, which played a role in securing his family's financial future after his assassination. The policy helped provide for his family and ensured his children could be educated. Okay. So these are some common examples. One of the big examples that people talk about, especially in the sporting world and in the finance world, is there's a coach from Michigan University. His name is Jim Harbaugh, and this is back in 2016. He agreed to increase compensation in the form of life insurance loans. So Jim Harbaugh became one of the highest paying coaches in all of football. And the reason is because a portion of his actual contract was in a life insurance policy. So I'm going to read this portion to you, a little bit of it, so you can kind of get a grip of how this is actually working. Michigan football coach Jim Harbaugh agreed to a contract amendment that will increase total payment from the school to $9 million in 2016. In addition to paying a $5 million salary for each of the remaining 6 years of his deal, Michigan will also loan Harbaugh $4 million in 2016 and an additional $2 million for the following 5 years to pay the premium of a life insurance policy. Okay, can you imagine having that much money going towards a life insurance policy? The first $2 million loan was made in June 3rd, according to records obtained by Wednesday via a Freedom of Information Act request. What does that mean? Freedom of Information Act is where people go to find out all these government secrets and different things. It's called the Freedom of Information Act. It usually takes a long time for it to go through, but that is how they found out about this. Each additional $2 million payment will be made in December starting later this year. As long as the insurance policy stays active, Harbaugh does not need to repay the loan until he dies. At that time, the university can recoup its original investment, and the rest of the insurance payout will go to whomever Harbaugh chooses as his beneficiary, so his family. Should the policy be stopped at any point, Michigan will still be entitled to get its money back from the insurer. So what that means is, as long as he's living, this policy is going to be paying him out money. I want y'all to get this wrapped around your mind. As long as he's living, the policy is going to be paying money to him.
That was a genius move.
It's genius. He does not have to repay the loan until he dies. Well, you know what? How do they repay the loan when he dies? It's the death benefit of his life insurance policy. Okay? So, 2 books that I highly recommend. Tax-Free Retirement and What Would the Rockefellers Do?
Well done.
Okay? Tax-Free Retirement by Patrick Kelly and What Would the Rockefellers Do? In the book, Tax-Free Retirement by Patrick Kelly, in chapter 12, he goes on and talks about the average American family who did a great job with their 401k. They did the right thing by contributing 5%, 10%, 15%. They got a lot of money, And then they talk about what typically happens is the market corrects itself every 7 to 8 years. So imagine being in one of those years close, not even on, but just close to the time that the market corrects itself and it goes down 40%. Okay? You build this 401k and then you haven't even paid taxes on it yet. So tax-free retirement talks about that. What would the Rockefeller do goes on and talks in depth about what we were just talking about their strategy. Now, in tax-free retirement, it also talks about the smart money investment order. And there is 4 different ways that you can actually obtain money, okay? The first way is free money. And what do I consider free money? Free money is money that you receive that is unexpected and free, okay? So, for example, if I gave John $5,000, that would be considered free money. Ain't nothing like free money, you know? If I gave God level, you know, a $2,000 check just because we love her beautiful smile, she ain't gonna be mad at me. Okay, that's free money. If somebody wins the lottery, free money, you know, won money. The most common type of free money that people receive is a company's match. So if someone has a 401k, you have a 403b, you have a TSP, you have an IRA, and your company decides that they're going to match it, maybe 3%, 5%, 6%, whatever it is, that 3%, 5%, 6%, whatever it is free money, okay? Remember, the difference between wealthy people, people that are middle class, and people that are on the lower class is not how much money they make, it's how they view money. People that are on the lower class, they feel that money is accumulated to pay bills. People that are middle class, they feel that money is accumulated to establish good credit so you can buy things that you can't really afford, like houses, like cars, right? Like a lifestyle. People that are wealthy, they feel the point of money is to turn $1 into 2. So when you're taking your company's match, you're turning $1 into 2. Okay? Free money is what we're going to be diving into with, I'll show you all 3 options when it comes to free money. Tax deferred money is what you have when you have your 401k, your 403b, TSP. All of that stuff means tax deferred money. Okay? And taxable money is money that has already been taxed. Okay? Now, let's talk about taxable money, right? Stocks are taxable money. Let's say you put $10,000 into a stock. If that stock goes all the way down and you lose your money, then that's just lost money. You don't have to pay taxes on that. But if that stock goes up, it's considered capital gains. You have gained money and you will have to pay taxes on that.
I do want to add, when you do lose money on stock, it's a tax write-off.
It is a tax write-off. Correct.
Okay.
Yep. But you know, and hopefully that's not a tax write-off that you want per se. You know,
right. It's not a tax write-off that you want, but in the event that you lose all of your money in a stock, you can write that off at the end of the year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And one of the things that I always tell people is I consciously did not get a license to be able to lose people money. Okay, I could have got my Series 6, Series 7, all these things. I could have gotten it, no problem. I could have been a financial advisor, no problem. But where I was in my life, my mom had just lost tens of thousands of dollars. And I didn't want that weight on myself. So I got licenses to make sure that if I'm talking to somebody about money, the options that I give, they cannot lose any money. Okay?
Was this back in 2008?
So my mom lost money in 2008, but this was back in, this is back in 2016, actually.
Oh, okay.
She had her money with a financial advisor, and she realized very quickly that she wanted something that was a little bit more conservative when it came to her nest egg money.
Mm.
And I ask people, and I'll mention this again, you know, are you an investor or are you a saver? You know, some people will consider themselves an investor, meaning, you know, if I got $1 million and the market goes down 50% and I just lost $500,000, it's all good. You know, I'll give it some time. The market's going to bounce back up. You know, I got another $1 million over here and I got $2 million over there. That's an investor, right? A saver is more somebody who says, listen, I ain't trying to lose none of my money. I ain't got time for that. You know, I need every single one of these dollars that I've accumulated. That's more of a saver. So when I got my license, I wanted to also work with people that felt themselves as savers. So it works the same thing. So it works the same way with mutual funds. If you lose money, you got your money in a mutual fund. You know, maybe you got it with Jackson. You know, maybe you got it with one of these companies. If you lose money, you don't have to pay taxes on it. But if you gain money, you have to pay taxes on it. Real estate. If you got a real estate property and 2008 happens and you lose a lot of money, you lose your property,
Yeah.
you don't have to pay taxes on it. But if you gain money, you have to pay taxes.
Ain't that
Okay.
sad?
Yep. Tax qualified plans. That's your 401k, TSP, IRA,
Yeah.
all those acronyms. Okay. What those mean is if you make $100,000 and let's just say you take 6%, okay, so $6,000, and you decide to put that into your retirement fund, 401k or whatever. You're not telling the government that you make $100,000. You're telling the government that you make $94,000. Okay, and I want you guys to ignore this $6,000 because it's going towards my retirement. Okay,
Yeah.
it all sounds good, right?
Right.
But we'll see how that actually plays out. Now, your income is taxable as well. Okay, you guys pay income taxes per usual, right? Now, on the other side, your tax-free options. You have municipal bonds, which is by the municipalities of different countries. So you might have bought savings bonds through the municipality of Puerto Rico. But, you know, if Puerto Rico has something going on and the currency decides to go down or it loses value, then your savings bonds have lost value. Okay, so people stopped getting the savings bonds a long time ago. All right. The second way that people can actually accumulate tax-free retirement is by having a Roth IRA. If it's a Roth IRA, you're telling the government, look, I make $100,000. This $6,000, yes, I'm going to invest it, but I'm investing it with after-tax dollar. I've already been taxed on my $100,000. Going to tax me my $100,000 now. Don't tax me later. Just tax me now. So when you collect the money, you can collect it tax-free because they already taxed you in 2024. Okay? That's how a Roth IRA works. I like the Roth IRA, but it has some of the exact same problems as the traditional IRA, right? What are some of the problems that the IRA has? Well, number one is you can't take your money out before age 59 and a half without being penalized. So if you want to take $100,000 out of your Roth IRA or your IRA or 401k before age 59 and a half, you're not taking $100,000 out. You're actually taking $110,000 out, right? I understand you want to buy that house, but you're taking $110,000 out. The second thing about that is that money that you're taking out, that $110,000, it's going to be considered income for that year. So for easy numbers, if you make $100,000, normally that year you just made $210,000, and they're going to tax you as such. Okay. The other thing with the Roth IRA, it is still susceptible to the market. It's not like your money is around the market. With the 401k, IRAs, Roth IRAs, your money is directly in the market. So if 2008 happens again, if something happens, your money is going to be affected by it. It is what it is. Okay, what a lot of people don't understand is the market traditionally corrects itself every 7 to 8 years. Okay. And I'll just start with 2000. Okay. You guys remember something called the Y2K bug back in the day?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 1999 and 2000, the market went down. All right. And then do you guys remember what happened September 11th, 2001?
9/11.
9/11, right?
Yeah.
The market went down again. People lost a lot of money
Oh,
during
yeah.
those 3 years. Okay, now fast forward 8 years from 2000. It's 2008. Y'all know about the housing boom, housing crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Obama became president that year too.
Okay. A lot of stuff happened during presidential years. Fast forward 8 years from now, 2016, the market didn't have too much of a crazy loss, but there was some loss in there, between those years. But what ended up happening is there wasn't anything crazy. The market went up, went up, went up, went up, went up. Now you fast forward 8 years from now, from 2016 is 2024. Let's just talk about some of the current events. Just some of the current events. Okay. And by the way, in 2022, the market went down like 17%. It went down a lot. Okay. But let's just talk about some of the current events. Within the last 6 months, we've had some major banks in Silicon Valley go under. Well, what happened was these banks only had FDIC insurance. I can only insure you up to $250,000. But all these Silicon Valley startups, they wanted their money. Like, let me get my dough. So the banks had to go under. Right? So the banks went under. That affects your money, by the way.
Didn't we bail them out? Didn't our tax dollars bail them out?
Exactly.
2020.
Yeah, didn't we bail out the banks? Wasn't that like a big deal a couple years ago? This was
as of in the last 6 to 12 months. It was what was happening with the banks in Silicon Valley.
We bailed out the housing market. I don't know about the banks though.
But it was somebody
we haven't done a big bailout since 2008.
That was with who was that? What industry? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and then we also had to bail out the automotive industry.
There it is.
Their stocks went down a lot.
Yes,
in 2008.
tremendously. Yep.
Tremendously.
Yep.
Right.
AT stock went down to $1.30, and my foolish self don't got it no more.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Yeah.
So you got some volatility there. Okay. Here's something else that's big that happened. I don't know if you guys know this, but doesn't matter what presidential candidate you like, love them or hate them. Maybe a month ago, Donald Trump said that Facebook is the enemy of the state, and Facebook had its largest loss than it has ever had over the last 8 years, just based on him saying that. Okay. So you're in a market where a presidential candidate can make a statement and your money is affected. Okay.
Anyone of influence.
Anyone of influence.
Anyone of influence. Elon Musk made a statement about XRP or something concerning XRP, and the next day that crypto went up.
Oh, is it Shiba?
No, not Shiba, XRP. I thought it was XRP.
I got some.
Well, he did both.
Ooh.
He did both.
Yeah, I'm holding strong on
I remember the Shiba one.
Yeah, he been fighting. He been rooting for Shiba for a minute.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm holding strong on Shiba. Sure. If y'all ain't got it, go get it.
Well, a good reason why he should be rooting for Shiba, because I don't know if you guys realize this, but Tesla had its worst day than it has over the last 12 years. That was today.
Wow.
Right? So I say all that to say, these are things that's happening. I don't know if y'all know this, but over the weekend, Iran shot over 300 missiles into Israel. Granted, the United States intercepted them, but they trying to go to war. That affects your money.
We're already at war.
We're already at war.
We're already at war.
So that affects your money. That drastically affects your money. Okay, your money is in the market when you have it in these different things.
Yeah.
All right. And then when it comes to the third way that you can actually access tax-free money, tax-free income is life insurance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of what we was talking about before. When you have it in a tax qualified plan, which is your 401k, TSP, IRA, that means it is qualified for taxes at the end. This is your contribution. Let's say you put in, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. This is your contribution. Your money is going to go up and down, right? Up and down with the market, right? Over here, if you do it with after-tax dollars, this is your contribution and this is your gains. But here's what happens when you take your money out. When you take your money out of a tax qualified strategy, you're going to get taxed on the entire amount. So let's say you're diligent, you put $500 a month, $1,000 a month into your 401k for 30 years, 35 years. Let's say you've gone through all the ups and downs of the market. The market's gone up, market's gone down. But let's say for easy numbers, you have $1 million in your 401k when you retire. They're going to tax you on your entire $1 million. Okay? They're going to tax you on that $1 million. So that $1 million ain't really $1 million. It's really $700 and something thousand.
Wow.
Right? So imagine being somebody who wanted to retire in 2009. Let's say you had $1 million, which most people, by the way, don't have $1 million in their retirement, just so y'all know. Most people don't. But let's say you had $1 million. And let's say 2008 happened and the market goes down 39.93%. We'll call it 40%. Now your $1 million is officially $600,000. And then you try to retire and realize that you still haven't paid taxes on it. So your $600-something thousand is now $400-something thousand. And you're trying to live the rest of your life off of $400,000, where if you have $1 million retirement, you might have a $100,000 lifestyle. You might be making pretty decent money to have gotten it up to that point, right? So you see people going back to work, right? It's common. That's how these tax qualified strategies work. And they're saying in the next 20 to 30 years, they might not even have the 401k anymore. Okay.
I can believe
However,
that.
on the tax-free side, you guys remember back in the day, they used to have something else that was called a pension? I don't know if y'all are too young for that.
I was just getting ready to say they got rid of the pension, brought the 401k, and now they're going to get rid of this.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The pension would just make sure that you have money coming in for the rest of your life. It might be $1,500, $2,000 every single month.
Yeah.
They got rid of that. All right. Now, here on the tax-free side, zero taxes paid on the entire account. No taxes paid on the entire account because you've already paid your taxes. Okay? And since taxes were already paid on the contributions prior to being placed in your plan. So this is the concept that the life insurance companies, as well as the wealthy, are using. When it comes to traditional life insurance, this is why I kind of went over it. You have term or whole life. There's only one price, one coverage amount, and that's it. One price, one coverage amount, and that's it. When it comes to the index universal life, there's actually three prices. First is the target price. That's the price that you should be paying. Okay, if the target price is $100, you need to be paying $100 if you were having a traditional policy. That's like bottom line. The minimum price is, let's say you can't afford that $100. Okay, well, maybe the minimum might be $50. The maximum price might be $500. It might be $1,000. That's the maximum that you can put into this policy before we deem it something other than a life insurance policy. When people talk about Section 7702, what Section 7702 says is you can only put up to a certain amount of money into a life insurance policy before they consider it to be more than a life insurance policy and deem it an investment where you have to pay taxes on it. So with these index universal life strategies, what we're doing is we're putting right below the maximum amount of money into it, because the difference between the target and what's in between the maximum is getting interest. So if my target is 100 and my maximum is 500, then that extra $400 is getting the gains of the market and none of the losses. Does that make sense?
So it goes up and not down.
Right. So let's just say you have a policy, and that policy, the price is $100, but you put $500 into it.
Okay.
They're going to say 500 minus 100. This extra $400 is going to be getting the interest, right? It's going to be getting the gains of the market.
Okay.
And none of the losses. So what the Rockefellers did is they got their children a life insurance policy when they were 14 days old. That's the youngest that you can get a child a policy.
Okay.
That means the cost of insurance, the target price of the insurance is dirt cheap. It might be $20. But all the remaining amount of money that they put into it is going towards the interest. It's working for them.
Yeah, it's working.
It's working for them. And here's the thing. Go ahead.
And it's protected.
Yeah.
And it's protected.
It gets the gain from the market, not the losses.
Right.
Correct.
So if the market starts to do bad, your money still stays the same. Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly right. I'm gonna show y'all that in a second here.
Okay.
So think about the Rockefellers. So by the way, they implemented tax code section 7702 back in 1985. Prior to 1985, there was no certain amount that you had to stay under. There was no threshold of how much money you could put into it that's getting interest. So they were saying, look, I'm gonna get this little $50 policy for my child, but I'm about to put $50,000 or whatever into the interest portion of it. Does that make sense? So the government said, whoa, this is getting out of hand. Y'all see what y'all doing. We're gonna add section 7702 to make sure that we still get our cut. Okay. All right, so let me show y'all some examples of how this works. All right, let me check in first. Let me check in with y'all. Y'all good? Everybody good so far?
Good, yeah.
All right.
I want to see this graph. I want to see the numbers.
We about to show you them numbers.
Yeah, we need to switch over too, Mike. I need to switch my insurance. I need to go ahead.
So here's the thing. So you have to have life insurance that is built for your death benefit. Okay. Like that is important because these policies aren't built for the death benefit. These policies are built for you to be able to take cash value out of it.
I want that
liquidate
too. Okay, I want that. We will talk. We will talk. I want that.
And just let me take 30 seconds to give this shout out. By the way, for all you listeners on here, every single one of these hosts, I'm talking about God Level, I'm talking about AP, I'm talking about Skywalker, I'm talking about King Newborn, I'm talking about Ivy. Every single one of these hosts have a life insurance policy. They're not out here just talking about it. They're being about it. They're leading the charge. They're leading by example. And guess what? They have a life insurance policy with a not-for-profit life insurance company. So they have access to all the stuff that we talk about, the scholarships, the grants. They have access to this stuff. So I want to give a huge shout out to you guys for not just talking about it. You know, you see the value in it and you put your money where your mouth is. So shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Let me share this screen again, and I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what I'm doing here. All right. So let's say we have a 5-year-old. Okay. We're going to start with the children. Let's say we have a 5-year-old. This is behind the scenes. This is what I do with my clients. All right. Parent. What I'm solving for is the maximum accumulation and income. I want to accumulate as much money as I possibly can, and I want as much income as I possibly can. For this example, I'm just going to say somebody is putting to the side $100 a month for this child. $100. Okay. The way that I'm going to have it set up is we're going to pay for this until age 65, age 65. At age 65, we're going to start drawing loans. We're going to start taking this cash value. And let's go ahead and do it for 35 years. So let's do it all the way until age 100. Okay. I'm going to put the money in the S&P 500 just for simplicity. All right. So again, just so you guys know, this is $100 a month for a 5-year-old male. This is meant to give them access to money that they'll be able to use as they're growing up. Okay. I'm going to dive into this here. All right. So, God level, you asked the question about the money going up, money going down. I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is how the market has operated over the last 20 years. Okay, right here, 2004 to 2024. In 2004, the market went up 12.89%. Okay, if somebody had this type of program, then they would have a cap. The cap is 12%. So they would get 12%. If the market goes up 5.41, they get 5.41. If it goes up 12.29%, they get 12% because that's the cap. 1.32, 1.32. But here's what happened. In 2008, when the market went down 39.93%, we actually gained 0.25%. We didn't lose $1. Not $1. Okay?
Ooh.
Why is that important? Why is that important? Well, because if somebody has $100,000 and let's just say they lose 50% of their money, 50% of the market, right, goes down.
Mm-hmm.
That means they now have $50,000.
Right.
If the very next year the market goes up 50%, a lot of people would assume that they jump back up to $100,000. Boo-boo. You got $75,000.
Wow.
You're gonna get 50% of what you currently have. You currently got $50,000.
Ooh. Okay.
50% of that is $25,000, right? So it actually takes twice as long for you to gain your money back when you lose it. So people, I'll give you a real life example. 2008, the market goes down 39.93%.
That was a difference.
Between 2009 and 2010, the market goes up 39%, 28, 27 and some change, and 11 and some change. But these people, again, they didn't go back up to $100,000. They're at $75,000.
Yeah.
Right? However, the market goes down, but when the market goes up 27.56, I'll take my 12. 11.49, I'll take my 11.49. And you play this game indefinitely. 17, 12, 24, 12, 11.37, right? 18, 12, 25, 12, right? 15, 12, 27, 12. Market goes down 17%, 17.29. I hold on to my money. 21%, 12. After all of this shakes out, guess what? 7.71% is what this equals with this conservative strategy that's guaranteeing that I don't lose any money. It even operates better, 8.08%. Okay? People say, well, I didn't make 27%. Okay, I get that. I'm not telling you to put all your money into this. You don't have to put all your money into this. And this is not tax advice. I'm not trying to be y'all's financial advisor. That's not my space. So if you want to consult a financial advisor or a tax person, perfectly fine. However, this is for educational purposes, and this is what I do. So I know how to set these up. All right. Now, let's scroll down and let's figure out what's happening with this this 5-year-old. Okay. So in 1 year, $100 a month is $1,200 a year.
Okay.
Follow me so far?
Yeah.
Over 10 years, you would have put in $12,000.
Right.
The child is now age 15 years old.
Okay.
Over here is your cash value, $9,451. Okay. Over 20 years, you would have put in $24,000. The child is now 25 years old. You got $31,686 in cash value
that you can take out.
That you can take out.
That you can draw from. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even at 18 years, you got 14 grand in there, you know, that you can take out. At 22 years, maybe they just graduated from college. You got $23,000 in there. Might put, you know, $5,000, $10,000 down payment on a car or whatever it is. But you got money in there.
That's just with $100 a month.
This is $100 a month.
So you go up on that.
Oh, it's gonna go up on you. Okay. So here's some other things. At age 40, maybe they need a reset. You know, they got $113,000 that's sitting there. Maybe they need to pay off the rest of their mortgage. Maybe they have children and their child wants a car. Maybe, you know, it's a lot of different things that happens in life that gives us the ability or the reason to spend some of this money, but they have it sitting there.
Does this money have to be repaid back?
Nope. All of this is tax-free, and what happens is they're going to subtract this amount from the death benefit. So you will notice that when we get higher up in these numbers, is the collateral is the death benefit.
Okay.
Yep. So age 50, okay, $241,000. Still $100 a month.
Still at $100 a month. Okay.
$100 a month. Okay, you pay this up until age 65, right?
Right.
That is $72,000 that you would have put into this policy.
Right.
$72,000. Now, when you look at it, you would be able to take out $59,000 tax-free for the next 35 years, all the way up until age 100. How crazy is that? So let's do some math. You put in $72,000, and the first year afterwards, you're actually being able to collect almost the entire amount that you put in, $59,000. Right?
Right.
Let me explain to you how this works. Okay. By this time, over this 60 years that you've been putting money into this, you have accumulated $709,000 in cash value. All right. Now, when you get the distributions, you don't take out all $709,000.
No.
You take it out $59,000 at a time. So this $709,000, it actually goes down to $700,000. Well, why isn't it going down by $59,000 if I took out $59,000? Well, because this other $700,000 is still working for you. It's still getting the gains of the market and none of the losses. Right? You're still getting money. It's not like you put it in a savings account or in a bank account and now you ain't getting no money with the market. No, it's literally still getting in there. So now next year when you take out $59,000, this don't go down by $59,000. It goes down by about $9,000. So you're taking it out slowly. Over 10 years, 59,706 times 10. Over 10 years, your child would have collected $597,000 tax-free.
And the death benefit is still over 600 grand, almost $700,000. Am I correct?
Listen, let's say your child lives a long and prosperous life, right? They live to age 92. Okay. Let's say they live to age 95, sure. At that point, they would have collected $1.7 million, almost $1.8 million tax-free. And when they pass away, the death benefit is $173,000. The family still gets $173,000. Okay. Let me explain to you guys how tax-free works. Tax bracket 2024. Okay. For somebody who is making, and just to kind of give y'all how it works, as you're making money from 0 to 11,000, you're paying 10% tax rate. From 11,000, so as you are going through the year and you've collected $11,000 to 44,000, you're paying a 12% tax rate. 44,000 to 95,000, you're paying a 22% tax rate. So it goes up over time, right? But let's just take easy numbers. Let's say somebody's making $100,000 a year. Okay, let's just call that 24% taxes. That means out of $100,000 times 0.76, right? That's the opposite side of 24% is 76%. It's about $76,000 on a good day, that they will feel from this. Maybe $80,000 based on the staggeredness of the tax bracket. However, if your child is collecting money tax-free, this $59,000 actually feels like $70,000, like $80,000 if they would have been being taxed, right? Because they don't have to pay taxes on it. So this $59,000 actually feels like more money because everybody else, the people that got their TSP, IRA, oh yeah, I got $65,000 this year. Well, let's see what that looks like when you got taxed. $65,000, at the current tax bracket, you're getting paid tax 22%. That means you're collecting 78% times 0.78. So your 65,000 is actually like 50,000, right? But when we're collecting money tax free over here, your child don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the concept. That's for a 5-year-old. Okay. God level was asking, if it's more money, if I put more money in it, does that mean that they're going to have more money? Yes. That's exactly what it means. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's say somebody decided that they want to put $200 to the side for their child. Okay. Now, if you got 2 children, go on and do it for both of them. Maybe split the $100, but don't leave one of them hanging. But let's say we did $200. I'll keep everything else the same. Now that y'all understand the concept, I'm just going to pull up the quick quote.
Thank you. Now I understand what you mean when you say your kids are going to be millionaires by the time they're 40.
Oh yeah, you better believe it.
I get it now. I understand it now.
Yep. Yeah. So it's $2,400 a year.
Yeah.
As opposed to $1,200.
Okay.
But let's go to age 65. They'll be getting $126,000 a year tax free for the rest of their lives.
Man, that's beautiful. And this is the what insurance is this?
This is called an index universal life insurance policy.
There you go. People go out there and get it right now.
Get it for your kids. Kids. Because the younger they are, the cheaper it is, meaning that there's a lot more time for it to accumulate cash value, meaning the cost of insurance is a lot lower. Let's say we wanted to take a 35-year-old. Let's just take a 35-year-old, okay? And let's say this 35-year-old makes $100,000 a year, okay? And let's say they decide to take 12%. Or let's start off with 6%. Let's say that they decide to take $500 a month to put into this type of program. Okay, because
can you still get insured if you just been released from prison or jail? I don't know why I asked this question.
It's harder. You might be able to get like an accidental death policy, but you can get some type of insurance. Yes, for sure. All right. So now this is for a 35-year-old. Maybe they are putting $250 a paycheck into their 401k, but their company is not matching, you know, or maybe they're putting $500 a paycheck into their policy or into their 401k, but the company is only matching 3%, but they're putting 8% or 9%. I tell people, look, when it comes to the safe money, the smart money options, you don't want to skip. You don't want to skip one of the main options. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right? You get free money because the company's matching. What a lot of people do is they skip right over the tax-free options and they go straight to the tax-deferred option. If your company is matching 3% and you're putting in 9%, you're getting 3% tax free money. You're skipping past the tax-free money and you're going straight to tax-deferred money. And you're putting 6% into the tax-deferred pot. I tell people take that 6% and put it into a tax-free pot. Okay, so let's just take this 35-year-old who's putting $500 a month into this. They have a lot less time for the policy to compound. Okay, so $500 a month is $6,000 a year. Let's do some math here. $6,000 times 30 years is $180,000. Okay, now I'm going to divide that by the 34,798 that we're going to get every year. And what that means is that in 5 years, I would have recouped all of my money, but I'm still going to get paid for the next 30 years, right? So in 5 years, that $180,000 that I've put in it, I'm getting paid, right? $34,000 is probably like $50,000 if you were being taxed. So it's significant money, you know? And in that 5th year, after 5.17 years, I would have essentially made back all the money that I put into it. But now I'm still getting paid indefinitely, right? 34,798, 34,798, 34,798. You know, let's say he decided to put $1,000. Maybe he makes $1,000 or $100,000 a year, and he's putting 12% of his money. By the way, I have clients that's doing both of these: 6%, 12%, 20%, putting money into these types of programs. $1,000. And remember, what we're talking about is a 401k alternative, right? Or a lot of people would do both. Okay. See what we got here. So if he's putting $1,000 to the side, he'll have $70,000 a year coming in. So 12 times 30. He would have put in $360,000. Divide that by 7,490. In about 5 years, he would have recouped all of his money, but he's going to continue to get paid $70,000 tax-free for the rest of his life. Okay. Any questions about this concept, how it works, why it works?
Anyone listening, do you all have any questions for Mike? Mike, this is our life insurance guy. He's going to be on here every month talking about life insurance. If it's not him, then it's going to be Sinitra. Did I say her name right this time?
That's right.
I'm really bad with names. You know, we have to tackle this. This is something that is well needed in our community. When it comes to us losing someone, we're leaving behind debt, and then we never have enough money to bury them. There's no life insurance policies. We have these GoFundMes, and the GoFundMes, I think Aaron pointed out last week that they take a percentage of that money before you even get it.
Yeah. I mean, naturally so, because they're providing a service. So
exactly, you know, and the fish fries. It's ridiculous when you can just literally get life insurance. My life insurance that I get every month doesn't cost me a whole lot. Excuse my language. I fuck off $50 once a week.
Right. And
Easy,
that's what I don't
Literally
understand. But
once a week.
easy. I
On
mean,
you
that's
gotta
on
me.
have your
BS.
priorities. Yeah, you
On
gotta
I
have
said,
your
I said,
priorities.
I said, ooh, what is this? Let me see what this is. Let me see what this is real quick.
You know, my daughter likes slushies from the gas station. How much is that? Times that
Right.
by
Just think
five
about
days
your
a week.
Netflix,
Yeah,
your Netflix and
Mm.
your Hulu
yeah,
and your
your
Prime,
Hulu.
all
Well,
that
Prime
stuff.
is once a year. And they always seem to come out at the wrong time, you bastards.
You don't do yours monthly. I do mine monthly.
I do mine. Mine's come out every
They probably
August.
taking. They probably be taking hitting me
And
up
they
for
wait
so
till my
much.
account get down real low. There she go. Get her. No,
Mm.
damn it. You know, so yeah. So yeah. We need to address this in our community. Um, I used to hear people say, you know, they didn't want to leave any money behind. They didn't want their family fighting over it. It's called beneficiaries.
Right.
It is
And
called
not
beneficiary.
necessarily
Yeah.
that, but don't be selfish. You know, it's a lot of people out here that don't care in life
Yeah.
how much people do for them, and
Mhm.
then they afterlife somebody got to take care of you.
Woo.
Like that's very unfair to your family
Mm-hmm.
members to have to rush and have that stress. And then here's the thing,
Yeah.
that GoFundMe, you know, it's getting played out where people's not doing GoFundMe's like that no more.
Mhm.
Them
Yep.
fish fries, people getting tired of buying that soggy fish that everybody want to fry because they think they can cook and so on and so forth. People are getting tired of that, and you are basically just leaving your family with payments because they'll set up a payment plan with you. Some,
I,
but they want a nice amount down. But why should they have to pay monthly for your death?
right. I've
Something we know
seen
is going to happen.
a funeral home. I can't think of the name of it, but it's all white and it's here in St. Louis. And the people didn't have the money for the funeral. They closed their doors. They wouldn't even let them in.
I
Oh wow.
believe it.
They
That's how you gonna
literally,
keep
yeah,
collecting.
they did not pay them for the funeral. So they was like, "You're not having one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
We'll
wow.
keep your loved one. We'll keep them on ice."
Then that's what I was going to say. And then I don't even know if there's a charge to that because I don't fool
Yeah,
with much death, but I don't
yeah,
know if it's a charge to keep the body a certain amount of days.
mm, that
They
part.
charge for everything else.
That
And
honey,
then,
picking up the body is a charge.
right. So, and I'm just like, what people don't realize, okay, you can say whatever you want to, it's $500 to dig the hole. They ain't put nothing in the hole. They just dug the dirt out the hole, $500.
And my
Now
kids
you
know
can say, come
don't
up
bury
with,
me.
I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be buried. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's $250 for the cremation or whatever.
Yeah, cremation is cheaper. I want my kids to get the most of the money that I'm leaving behind. I have two life insurance policies. Come to find out, the second one, me and Mike found out was a lot more than what I thought it was. So that money is to use for my final expenses, and they know. Don't you have no funeral?
Mm.
I don't
Yeah,
want nobody
it's
walking, looking down at
a
me like,
lot of
yeah, we used to be
wasted
cool.
expense. Right, a lot of
Wasted
wasted
expense.
expense.
And
And
I
I don't
learned
know
that
what the
through my mother.
cremation. Go ahead.
I learned that through my mother. Her funeral was $25,000. Was over
Mm-hmm.
$25,000. And I'm like, just for that, no.
And y'all didn't get
Cremate
everything
me.
that y'all wanted with that
Not
25,000. That's
I
probably
want to say
was
we did, but it could
a
have been
few
some changes.
upgrades.
It could have
Yeah.
been some changes. But for me, don't do all of that. Cremate me, go down to Florida, make it a vacation, get on some jet skis, put me in little baggies. My son is not allowed to have the baggies of me because I got a feeling he gonna drop me in the water without letting me out. But I've already visualized this, so he knows he can't have a baggie until the end, and just dump me out, put me back in the water. That's it. That's it. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the beach for me because that's one of my favorite places. That's what I want my kids to do. That's how you honor my memory and take that money and invest in yourself. and do
Yeah,
the same
and I
thing
was gonna
I
say,
did.
it's
Yeah,
a cost. Whatever you do dead, there's gonna be a cost. Even with the cremation, whatever you do, there's gonna be a cost.
whatever.
And
It's
who
a
has
cost
that extra
coming
money
in
just sitting around?
and
Yeah,
going out. It's a
yeah.
cost.
Nobody just have extra money sitting around for your funeral. I'm just like, who just said, okay,
Say
this for John.
that.
I got John funeral money here. I got God level funeral money. I got my funeral. Who the hell just got that? You know
Not
what I'm
that I
saying?
wouldn't give. Not that I wouldn't give, but you,
Right,
yeah,
but yeah, who just got that laid out, and we all know that it's coming, but
yeah,
nobody just has that type of money
yeah.
just laying around.
Nobody gets out of this life alive, so why not prepare for it? We did back in the day.
Yeah,
We did back
yeah,
in the day. Thousands of years ago, we prepared for the last day.
yeah.
Why are we not doing that now?
And we know what it takes. It takes money to do
It,
it, to be able to do that.
when you go to the club on Friday and Saturday night and you buying all those drinks, that's
Right.
hella expensive. Even if you get bottle services,
I was gonna
that was
say bottle
probably
service.
that was 3 months worth of premiums right there.
Yeah, that's more. I was gonna say that's more than my premium.
Easy,
Yeah. Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
And
you spending all this
the
money.
problem becomes like the education piece. Like
Yeah.
if we knew how this worked, if we knew that the Rockefellers were doing this for all of their children, what they do is they have
Right.
the beneficiary and the owner be the trust. So as someone passes away, the beneficiary, which is the trust, is going to just take that money and buy more life insurance. So it's just
That's how they
snowball.
stay in power too, as well.
It's just snowball.
Right.
You know, and then they buy their assets through the trust. They buy their houses, their cars, and all that other stuff. They get it as a loan. You saw how the loan. Here's another thing about taking out a loan. When you take out a loan, technically the money is still there.
Mm.
Okay, so if I have
Right, because you're paying it
$100,000
back.
and I take out a $10,000 loan, technically the money is still there. So when they give me my interest, it's based on the $100,000. It's not based on the 90,000 because I took out 10,000. It's still based on the $100,000 because the money is technically still there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They do the same thing in real estate. You know, they do the same thing when they leverage art. You know, they loan against those things, but the collateral is the actual thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Let me run across some art piece worth a couple mil. Would be nice. Oh my God, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on. You
of
are
course,
always a wonderful guest to have. Do y'all have any questions for him? We did good tonight. We did good tonight. It was a lot of people in and out of the room tonight. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe over at God Level 102 at YouTube. And if you need to talk to Mike about life insurance, his number is right down there. Please see this man, 703-932. Oh, damn, the number's going.
I run some numbers for y'all's kids.
5057. Please.
I run some numbers for y'all's kids. So if y'all call me or whatever,
Yeah,
hey, I got a 6
get your children. If you have children, you don't know. As a nurse, I can honestly say you don't know what the next day is going to bring. So you want to be prepared, especially in the end. For the end, that money can be set aside and put and left for your children. And okay, I have a question. My daughter is a beneficiary, but she's not yet 18. Will she still get a check, or will it go to whoever's taking care of her, or will it go into like a trust or something? How does that work?
So your daughter would not be able to access the money until she turns 18. So what
Okay.
you want to do is you want to put in you want to change your beneficiary. You can change it to your estate. You know, the estate of God level. I don't know if everybody knows your real name, but the estate of God level. You know, and
Nobody
then
knows
once
my
she
real
pass
name.
away, once she pass away, then however you set it up in your will and all that stuff, you'll be able to give the money to her. So, for example, for me, I have insurance, and my beneficiary is my estate. But in my estate, in my will, it says I want X amount to go to this. I want X amount to go to this. I want X amount to go to this. You know, I want y'all to pay off these IULs that I have for my children. You know, so for me, each one of my children have one. I'm paying $250 a month. I pay $3,000 a year for it.
Okay.
Okay. But I got them started when they was not 5. You talking about 0.
Oh, that's what's up.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I say the earlier that you start them, the better. But for my personal life insurance, if I pass away, then I got it divvied up in different places.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any other questions for Mr. Mike?
No questions.
No questions today.
I want to let y'all know, the people that's listening, this ain't meant to be the sexy conversation.
No.
This is the somebody got to be the adult here conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the kids want to eat candy all the time. I want to eat candy all the time, but I know better. Right? We got to know better. We got to take care of this stuff. We can't just listen to this stuff and not do anything about it. I don't personally care if you get life insurance with me. I just want you to have life insurance.
Right.
Now, one thing that you get when you get life insurance with me is you get me. You're going to get somebody who's attentive, who's going to call you, who's going to make sure you're good. Hey, what questions do you got? Don't even worry about calling me.
I be at work.
Yeah.
I be at work. I'm like, did Mike just call me? Mike called me. What do you want?
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
He do follow up. Agent. He does follow up.
Yes, he does.
You want an active agent. You know, because if your agent ain't checking in with you and you pass away and don't nobody know your insurance policy,
man,
this happens.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and we need to link up soon.
Okay.
So yeah, we need to link up soon. I want to make sure you got to teach me how to do the estate thing. I like that. Leave it to my estate, and then in my will have everything separated. I like that idea. I really do, because I could put my business in there too.
Yeah. And by the way, you can get, with the insurance policy that you have, you can get your will written for free. Yeah, right.
See all the benefits that come with having life insurance. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, this is this has been God Level. Don't forget to join us at Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. Check us out on iHeartRadio. We are on Spreaker. We are on YouTube. We are on Apple Podcasts. Yes, we are everywhere. You can't miss us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to go buy a hat. Thank you. We will see you all back here next week. John, you got me?
Yes. All right, y'all. Laters.